Hello, welcome. My name is Antoni Cimolino. I'm the General Director of the Stratford Shakespeare Festival. I am here in the lobby of the Stratford Festival and Theatre, and it is my great pleasure today to be here with the two leads from West Side Story, Chillina Kennedy and Paul Nolan. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
It's fantastic to get a chance to talk to you right now. They've just been in rehearsals for about a week and a half. So how's it going?
It's good. It's intense. Very intense.
I bet. And by that you mean you're singing, you're dancing. What'd you do today?
Today was ballet day, so we danced from 9:20 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon just on the ballet.
Yeah, I find that kills me. And Paul?
At least you look good in the tights.
Yeah, I'll come back to that afterward. But and do you get broken up a lot? Like, do you find yourself rehearsing with the guys and you're rehearsing with the girls? Or do you find a lot of your work is constantly together?
Yeah, most of it's been together.
Yeah, in fact, we have been with the group a lot this week, so it felt strange to be not with them in the afternoon. But most of the work's been with Chillina and Riff, and then they'll amalgamate all of it eventually.
Well, that must be very hard on you, Paul, to have to do that. What's it like? Like, what's the chemistry like? Did you audition together? Did you audition separately?
Well, we first auditioned separately, and then they brought us together. Yeah.
Yeah, Chillina was the only one I went in with, actually. I don't think they brought a lot of people together. So I was lucky to at least have gone in with her once.
And we were very lucky to get both of you. I think that it was very clear who needed to play these parts, so I don't think there was a lot of a horse race here, so it's great.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
Okay.
Now, it is the beginning of the 2009 season, and as you can tell, it's just after 6:30 as we're doing this live right now, and it's getting dark outside, but as the days go on, they get longer and longer and longer, which is very energizing for all of us stuck in rehearsals all day, that you come out and you actually get to see some light. So, more light and light it grows, as Romeo would say. So, now, we are going to go away. We're going to show you a clip with the designer of the set for West Side Story, Doug Paraschuk. And he's going to take us through the floor, the environment that he's created for this play. So you'll get a chance to look at that. And while you're doing that, if you think of any questions you'd like to ask these very talented young people, please send them in. We've got some already, but we want yours. So please send in your questions, and we'll see you in about 5 minutes' time. I'm here with Douglas Paraschuk, who is the designer for the set of one of the greatest musicals ever written, West Side Story. And this musical, which is, revolutionized, really, musicals. Yes. Choreography is brilliant. But the choreography is set and it's copyrighted, which not a lot of people know. And I mention that because it's always been staged in a proscenium house, and so there's a real set way of doing the show. I'm wondering, as a designer who's given that kind of tough assignment that now has to be translated to a thrust stage in festival theater, where did you start?
So the first thing I did was get in touch with Sergio, who's actually in charge of the choreography.
Sergio Trio,
yes,
who's done the show many times. Yeah.
Yes, but Sergio was top on my list of people to meet with after Gary Griffin, who's the director for the production. One of the things that Gary and I talked about was we wanted the production to be as dynamic as possible.
Right.
So we wanted the world of the play, the world of the musical, to explode off the stage. So one of the first things we looked at were these radiating lines of energy, and so everything on the set radiates out from this kind of epicenter, and almost looks like it's the world's exploding or expanding. So we transferred all that onto the floor as well. Now, having said that, of course, we need to maximize the amount of floor space that we can use. If you look at what we've done in terms of the physical size of the stage, it's probably the biggest stage we've ever put on the festival stage. But Sergio, at the end of the day, said, geez, I really need more physical space to do some of the key scenes. And at that point, we put our heads together, and we thought, well, what happens if the ramps are ramps when you need transitions in and out of the bombs, and then they lift up and become an extension of the stage when you need to do the big choreographic numbers. So that's how we came up with the solution.
Wonderful. Why don't we go up on the stage and have a look around at what's actually being built right now?
Okay.
So here we are on the festival stage where the floor for West Side Story is being laid out, and And of course, because the festival stage is a unique creation that is not exactly symmetrical, we have to build the sets in the shop and then come here and actually fit them up on the stage. And here's one of those ramps that you say are going to go up and down to provide more space.
Yes, and right now we're in mock-up form, so it's raw plywood. This rampway into the VOM is going to, number one, connect with a piece of a ramp that will stay stationary. On cue, will be raised on hydraulics, lock into place, and become an extension of the dance floor.
And the balcony scene, which of course, because West Side Story is really Romeo and Juliet with good music, the balconies are critical to the entire story.
These fire escape gantries basically are part of the permanent architecture that we use for the entire evening. They provide us with an upper level. They allow us to get an actor basically out and over the audience. So I think that's going to be quite an exciting place to actually do some work. In the center, there's a huge rolling balcony section that actually glues the two sides, these two gantries together. And it plays in an upstage storage position for the bridal shop and in this scene for the gymnasium. For most of the evening, it plays in what we're calling a mid-stage level that actually creates a connecting fire escape, so it allows people to move all the way across the stage and above and below. And then it plays in a downstage position for the famous balcony scene, where basically we bring Maria's bedroom out into the house and actually lay it in a position very, very much in keeping with the original balcony that Tanya designed for the space.
I love the windows that you've created all the way to create the sense of Manhattan and Brooklyn world.
That neighborhood.
Yeah.
With a piece like this, though, you want to get the sense that the neighborhood is always present and sort of towering over the action. So a very cheap and cheerful way of doing it was to create this kind of stylized mobile of truss and girder and fire escapes and windows. We've left it in the raw steel and lacquered so that it will actually reflect all of the colored light. Another big part of what we want to do relative to the graphic color coding of the production is the sharks, have a color code and the jets have a color code. So we want to be able to make these go red in one instance, blue in another instance.
Wonderful.
So these elements can both recede and then be brought into prominence with lighting.
So what happens next?
This floor will be laid out in its entirety. In our case, the top cladding is dance marley that's very, very favorable for the dance, and it saves the dancers' legs and knees and allows them to do knee slides and all of that choreography. But it's like liquid glass. It looks wet all the time.
And everybody in this 1,830-seat house is going to get a different view, and the angles are so fascinating. You can see that everybody will have to come back several times and see it from different positions. Anyway, Doug, thank you very much for doing this.
You're welcome. Cheers.
See you soon.
I'm Antoni Cimolino, General Director of the Stratford Festival, and I'm very, very lucky tonight to be here with two of the leads, Maria and Tony from West Side Story, Chillina Kennedy and Paul Nolan. Okay, so why did you decide to get into the theater? Do you have parents who are in love with the fact that you're obviously very successful, but do they love this? Are they upset by it? And when did you first realize you wanted to go into the theater, Chillina?
I think I knew right from the beginning. I mean, that sounds cheesy. I know a lot of people say that, but I started dancing when I was 4 years old.
That would be the beginning. I thought 15, 16, but 4.
Oh yeah, I was 4 years old, and I used to get in trouble in class all the time because I'd get up and I'd spin around like in the middle of when my teacher was talking, and then I'd sit back down and she would say, "Chillina, what are you doing?" I was just in a sort of a show of my own, so I always wanted to do it.
Where'd you grow up?
I was a military kid, so I grew up all over the place. I spent some time in Australia and England and all over Canada.
But you danced throughout all of it?
I danced throughout the whole thing, and then I started acting and singing in grade 10 in high school. So,
Paul, you grew up in Saskatchewan, you said?
I did, yes.
So, not to sort of indulge in all my East Coast ignorances and prejudices about what it must be to be a prairie kid, but did you see theater? How did you decide that you wanted to go into it?
Well, my parents noticed that I could sing, and I didn't want to take singing lessons because I was taking organ lessons, and
Voluntarily, you were taking